back there in fifth. Everybody keeping it clean, the front two. They're right in each other's tail. Ray Stewart's got a bit of work to do to catch up, but he's not doing a bad job of it. The front three making a gap now on Paul Simon. Then we go back to Dixon, who is in sixth position. Further down back in the pack, we'll go back to Dave Manara as they hear across the line for lap number 2. Then we'll go back to Berg. Further back a little bit more is Kerry Dixon fighting hard. Oh, a bit of a biffo back there he's got going on with Berg. Berg's hard back into it. Greg Johnson is there as well in the 77 car. He manages to pick up a place out the front. They've gone and left everyone else behind. The front three, there's 4 or 5 car laps between each of them, but they are leaving the rest of them behind at the moment. And Ryan Marsden doing a great job. Fastest out on the track with a 16.2 at the moment. Although he runs high down into turn number 2, Ray Stewart can't capitalise on it. Paul Simon, he's the best of the rest. And we've got one car heading to the middle at the moment, and that's Berg. So the 76C heads towards the concrete barrier in the middle as Ryan Marsden makes no mistakes as he heads through turn 1 and 2 and extends the lead a little bit more. It's out to a whole second. Doesn't sound much, but that round here, this track, it's about 10 car lengths as he's down into turn number 1 again. Ray Stewart just starting to claw on the back of Burson as they head through 1 and 2. He's got his bumper right up to the next side, the left-hand rear wheel of Burson. Ray Stewart, wily old character, just waiting to look for a way to go past Paul Simon. He's a bit lonely out there at the moment. Trevor Elliott, he's again next. And we'll go back to Owen Dixon. He's trying to fight with Elliott at the moment through turn number 3. He's not having much luck of it. Then we'll go back to Kerry Dixon in the 225 car. And Greg Johnson again out on his own. As Ryan Marsden heads down to turn number 1, he's going to come up on the back of the 88N car. He's probably got 12 in it now, 2 seconds. He is out. He's going to get, as he comes through now, picks up lap number 10, and many more to go. Back marker in front of him. As much as he's out in clean air, he's got to make sure he passes him neatly. Oh, he tries down the wall, but he gets squashed into towards turn number 3. That's not the place he wanted to be. The white flag will come to greet him, this time past the stripe. He's still right on the back of 88N. Can't get past. It's not hurting him too much as he heads down to turn 1 and 2. They're side by side. It shouldn't be racing between a back marker and a front runner, but they are. He gets clear now. Burson can't do anything about it. He managed to make up about 6 spaces. The checkered flag's out. And Ryan Marsden takes first blood here tonight in the Magan Turbo Super Cup Super Saloon Series, followed by Burson. Then we go back to Ray Stewart, Owen Dixon next, then Paul Simon. Then we'll go back to Trevor Elliott, Kerry Dixon next, then Greg Johnson. Followed home by Manra, and there is Berg sitting in the middle with a DNF. So that was Magan Turbo Group A versus Deb the Webster from Mike Pero Mortgages up there in Marlborough, are the sponsors of those 2 groups. And that is the first heat done and dusted. Berg obviously maybe a different engine or a drivetrain problem being pushed off the track. So we have to try to get an update of what is happening with that car. As the water truck heads out, tries to get a bit of H2O into the surface. This week in Cromwell has been a mixed bag, I've got to say. Tuesday was more rain I think we've seen in any year. And certainly it's more difficult then for the track management team, Sam McKenzie and the team down there. Raymond Buchanan is one of them as well, to try to get this surface perfect for tonight. You don't want to put too much extra water in, but then again, you don't know how much is already in there. And they've been working since Wednesday night to get this prepped and ready to go. Because I think we're just going to get these cars to do a little bit more wheel packing. So they'll send them. Is there as well. He loves this track, he told me. Well, they all say that when they're at the front winning, I suppose. So he just cleaned up the 70 lap. Joining up me up here now is promoter of the track in the form of Jason Scott. Instead of the race suit this tonight, Jason, you've got the hivers on. As I said before, the classes that don't run here amalgamate themselves with the volunteers just to make the meeting a little bit better. But great opportunity for Cromwell to shine again in the form of this championship here tonight.
Yeah, no, it's, you know, third production saloon title in New Zealand, and it's 63 cars. It's a pretty good field of cars from all over the country, so, you know, it's a tight race in the go, I'd say, you know, and we'll get to the end tomorrow night, I suppose.
Now, I mean, this is a great thing about Speedway in general, the contrast between the production cars, which is an entry level of sport, and I don't think you'd find as an economic way of to get into motorsport, and it sounds crazy when you talk about motorsport, it always sounds expensive, but certainly, you know, from the top end of the sprint cars and the super saloons like the sprint cars you run, it's great to see that people can still get out here on the clay and have a great time at such an economic rate.
Yeah, no, it's a good mix. Whether it's where you're going to start racing in life and proceed to other classes, or, you know, there's a few old guys out there just love it. You know, Jeff Friend, he's been around for a while, and a few beers with him last night, and that's what he lives for. He loves it, suits him, and cheap, and it's good, clean, easy racing. You know.
Well, that's what we like to see, and this should be cheap and easy racing out here now, but these cars, ladies and gentlemen, if you get a chance to go down and have a look at them, they are very, very impressive. This is the creme de la creme of the super saloons here vying for this title. And again, a big thanks to Mag and Turbo for making this one possible. So Group C versus Group A. So we've got the X Factor cars, the Graham Williamson Group C, up against the Mag and Turbo Group A. And as we saw last time, a couple of those drivers that are up there in the points didn't do so flash. Trevor Elliott not doing what he know he can do so well. But out there at the moment, Ray Stewart, he's going to try to make up as much as he can. Ryan Marsden's out there again. Kerry Dixon, all the ones from that first Group A outing. Paul Simon. But there are a few additions out there at the moment. Ewan Shearing is one of them in the 69i car from Invercargill. Another hard charger and one to watch in the Mag and Turbo sponsored 6C car, Kane Lawson. He shone pretty well last year in this, and I've got to say, a hard, fast racer. So keep an eye on him. He is sitting at the moment 5th in the points. But the man who made all of the inroads last round, and we're used to seeing him here in a big old bad sprint car, 46E, Paddy North, sitting in 4th position, did an absolutely fantastic job. Richie Taylor there as well in the 58C is another entry into this one in Group C. As well as Terry Soper in the 8D car from Dunedin. So they're just going to do a little bit of wheel packing at the moment. So wait for them just to line up, see how they're going to be unleashed for this one. Looks like Kerry Dixon inside of the front row. It looks like it's going to be Lister in the 4D car. Although now they're back to single file, doing a bit more wheel packing. You'll just see the officials pointing on the track where they want them. They can see a little bit too much water. Get that clay packed down nice and smooth. Means we get 2 lanes of racing. We don't want any follow the leader. So it's important to pack the clay from the pole line on the inside right out to the fence. So water truck retreats to the centre. Original grid position comes out. 2 laps to go. 2 laps to go. Travis down there taking over Clerk of the Course duties for a sec. So let's see how they're going to line up. Kerry Dixon inside row 1. Outside will be Lister. As they pull forward now, it should be Paul Simon, who will be inside of row number 2. Outside will be Paddy North. Technically, they should all get a go at the front and the back and the inside and the outside with these heat draws. So we're going to get the 1 lap to go board by the looks of things. The Civil Construction's pace truck will head to the centre. Great thanks to Civil Construction and certainly John Severite for organising all the signage on these push trucks. They all look the same out in the centre now. Everybody's chomping at the bit to get going. Taylor hasn't had a run tonight. Travis heads to the concrete bunker in the middle. They head through turn number 3. It'll be Lister who's going to guide them around here. He's going to set the pace. Green flag's up the ready. Who's going to get the run? Oh, a little bit early. I would have picked it that Kerry Dixon was a wee bit early in that one. He's a 2 or 3 car lengths out in front. They've let it run green all the way through turn number 2. Oh, big hit over there for Soper. 3 cars in it. Too many too low in turn number 2. There's a tongue twister. And it's resulted in 3 cars parked over there at the moment. And it looks like it's Burson who backs away first. No visible damage to that car. Soper was pretty much driven round to the wrong way. Ryan Marsden's the other one that's still nose to nose over there at the moment. Ewan Shearing. He stopped down the front. Couple of crews out there. Oh no, huge damage to the front of Burson's car. And that's a whole lot of camber on the right front as crew were up against the fence trying to tell him to stop. I'm sure you can win some Highlands Supercar Fast Dashes, Jackson Orchard Fruit, as well as some accommodation meal vouchers for 2 at the Harvest Hotel here in Cromwell. So out they come onto the track. This is Group B versus Group C. It's Deb the Webster from Mike Perro Mortgages up there in Marlborough sponsored Group B. Up against Group C, sponsored by Graham Williamson's X Factor Cars. We'll have to see a couple of these cars try to shine now. I know one man that's going to be wanting to do that. It's going to be Kane Lawson in the 6C car. He's carrying the title sponsors logos on the side of that. Ewan Shearing's back out again. So is Greg Johnson. There goes Kane Lawson, a man who needs to make up a bit of ground. And Trevor Elliott, although he's got a little bit of a points lead at the moment, wants to make the most of it. Paul Berg's out there. Soper's out there as well. Taylor in the 58C car, as well as Owen Dixon. And the man that's often in a sprint car as well as a super saloon, and that's in the form of Paddy North. List is out there as well, and around them out is the 88 in. Manor is out there as well. So as they come around now, doing a bit of wheel packing as the water truck makes its way to the centre of the track. Everybody just getting a feel for the surface. It'll be slippery for the first couple. Generally catches them out over there in turn number 2. It doesn't matter how well you know it. If it's a little slippery like this, it's going to catch someone out. There's a beautiful evening descends here in Central Otago and Cromwell. The temperature just drops a little bit, which is always good to see. Plenty of families here throughout the Central Otago and Otago region generally take the Friday off after Waitangi Day, make it a long weekend, enjoy the beautiful weather, the lake, and all the other attractions here in Central Otago, especially in Cromwell. So the officials are just picking up this a wee bit of water down towards the pole line being the concrete strip you can see around the inside of the track. Demarcation. You're supposed to race between the pole line and the wall. And there's a warning goes out every now and then if too many drivers put too many wheels over the pole line. You can put the left front over there, but anything else and gain an advantage. You will be talking to the Mitre Speedway New Zealand officials about it. Just getting confirmation that they are just about ready to get into grid positions. The Goldfield Jet sponsored 77T ex-Darrell Ainsley chassis. And certainly Greg Johnson, when he's got it all sorted, is very, very quick in that car. Push truck heads to the centre. Darrell's got the original grid position board out, just waiting for a tow truck to make its way back onto the circuit. And the pit entry gate will be closed. And the original grid position board is shown. So, as they'll go down through to turn number 1, they're going to stack up, ready to rock and roll. Ewan Shearing, he's off P1, outside Greg Johnson. Inside row number 2, that'll go to Lawson. Outside, man, he's got a little bit of peddling to do. Trevor Elliott. We'll just wait for the rest of them to line up. Looks like the outside of row number 3 is going to be going to Paul Berg. So coming in now, looks like they're going to get the 2 laps to go board. So on the inside of Paul Berg, it's going to be the 8D of Terry Soper. Then the next row back inside Taylor, the 58C car. Outside Owen Dixon. Next row back will go back to Paddy North. And Manor will be on the outside off the back of this field. Will be Alistair Lister from Dunedin in the 4D car. As a quiet rumble descends on the track as they come through turns number 3. You know, Ewan Mitchell, ex-saloon car driver, certainly knows how to handle this. 1 lap to go, says Darrell. So down towards turn number 1 now. It's all on the line for this one. Yellow lights are out, meaning a start this time. As they all head down there towards turn number 3. Green flag is out. Be Greg Johnson to set the pace as they come round now towards the pole line. Green flag's down and away they go. Oh, Greg Johnson, great start down towards turn number 1. Trevor Elliott, he wants in on the action as well as they all get cleanly through 1 and 2. Berg's there. Then we'll go back to Ewan Shearing. Just looking to see who it was. It's Owen Dixon who's going to go round the outside of turn number 3. Great start from further back on the pack, but it's Greg Johnson's got it dialed in at the moment out the front. Heads down there to turns 1 and 2. Trevor Elliott, he's fighting hard with Berg for that bit of territory for 2nd and 3rd, but it's Owen Dixon. He wants in on the action as Trevor Elliott goes into 2nd. Owen Dixon into 3rd. Berg back to 4th as they come through turn number 4. They're fighting it hard at the front. Then we'll go back to Ewan Shearing. He's got Manara on there as well. Lawson further back in the pack fighting with Soper. Then we go back to Taylor, then Paddy North. And Lister down the back. But at the front at the moment, it's Johnson who's doing a great job. He's out to 1.3 seconds over Elliott. Then Owen Dixon right on the back bumper of Elliott as they head down towards turn number 3. Then we go back 10 to Berg. Another 8 back to Ewan Shearing with a freight train behind him. And the second in line is Lawson, who's going to change that situation as he can between 3 and 4. As they all head down towards 1 now, Ewan Shearing holds on to the freight train part of the front. Lawson second. Soper, he's side by side with Manara as they head down to 3. Manara sneaks ahead. But out in the front, it's Johnson. He's still got a bit of a gap. It's down to 0.9. Elliott finding the grip and the groove he wants as he heads through turn number 2. Sitting there as well, Owen Dixon. He's about 6 back. Then it's a whole chunk back, probably about 20 cars to Berg. Then Ewan Shearing, Lawson, Manara. Then we go back to Soper, Taylor, North, and back to Lister. That's 6 laps down as Greg Johnson heads down to turn number 3 now. Elliott, he's still got 6 back. He's managing to claw it in a little bit each lap. He's going to have to do a little bit more. Let's see what the gap is. It was 0.7. It's now out to 0.8. So Greg Johnson just taking a little bit back. Owen Dixon, he's about another 8 back. Then it's still 12 back to Berg, who's now got the freight train behind him. Ewan Shearing first. Lawson tries to go down the inside of Ewan Shearing into 3. Can he get it to stick? No, he can't. I'd say the grip's up a little bit higher. Is out the front. The gap's down to 0.6. Gregory Johnson, you're going to have to do a bit of hard work here, son, because you've got a hard-charging Elliott right behind you. There ain't going to be much in it this time. It's going to be down to 0.4. Oh, Paddy North spins. Paddy North spins down there and turns number 1 and 2. So the 46 facing the wrong way. Trundling up the track in the wrong direction. Not where he wanted to be, not where we're used to seeing him at the back of the pack there. Turns the car to the infield. And he'll join at the back. So Greg Johnson. He had a nice little break there. It was down to 0.6, but it wasn't getting more of a problem. Okay, here we go. Restart time. This is a little different. This restarts 2 by 2. And as you watch the cars come down here now, as they turn into turn number 3, on the left-hand side, you'll see all the cones around the sump there. So where the cars are entering now, round as they get to the pole line about there on the track and turn number 4 is called the box. Now, because Greg Johnson was out in the front, he gets an opportunity to nail it somewhere between the cones and the pole line. He is the one that controls it. That's the advantage he gets for leading the race up until the yellow. They are going to try to pick when he goes. The greens will go on. Here they come into the box now. He's gone straight away. Greg Johnson hit it pretty quickly and the green is off and away he goes. But it didn't help because Trevor Elliott drove round the outside of him out of 4. I'm not sure if Greg Johnson saw the yellows flashing and backed out of it. He had a sensational start as Berg now. Big hit by Berg. Berg's up the wall of the back and oh, Lawson collects him. Lawson into him up on the fence. We've got 5 cars parked over there at the moment. So Berg tried to go alongside. Got tapped, backed up into the wall. Lawson nowhere to go. Slams in the side of Berg. And Lawson just about the left rear, almost sitting on top of the wall. Just remember, kids, stay back a little bit from that incident. We don't want to see any fuel leaking out of these cars. It's for your own safety. And it looks like that Lister's caught up in that one just in front. Not far ahead, Paddy North in trouble again. Manor is there as well. So 5 cars involved. I'd say Berg's come off second best and so has Lawson. Paddy North spun trying to avoid the incident. Manor managed to get into the side of him. Sorry, no, Manor is over here. Just trying to pick who else it is actually. As we watch Lister. Car head down to the centre of the track. I think he just arrived slowly sideways at the end of that. So he might have got away with any damage. Car's just half tracking now. Fair bit of bodywork being carried off the track. Lister's car comes past the 4D. Let's have a look, see any damage. Oh no, sorry, that's 58C. So that's Taylor. So it must have been Lister that's over there parked to the side of Paddy North. Far side of the track in turn 3. Bit hard to see from over here. So it was Taylor. Just got involved in that one with Lawson and Berg. Just looking at the left rear wheel of that 58C car. Bit hard to see. You have to wait till he comes past next. They've stopped all the cars over. On the straight in front of the spectators while they get that incident untangled. The whole front Clipper Lawson's car dragged to the centre of the track. Paddy North now being hooked up by a tow truck. Clearly a bit of damage to the front of that car. Berg's car also took a reasonably hit by the front of Lawson. So it'll just take a couple of minutes to get this one untangled. We'll see what they say. 8 laps had gone down so far. This one's touted to go for 12. Remember, folks, still an opportunity to grab a bite to eat or a Mr. Whippy or some popcorn up the back. I can recommend either Mr. Whippy or the popcorn. I've had both. Both very, very nice.